All right, so welcome to the webinar. The official name of this webinar is a workshop in how to create 10 CHNAs in 10 minutes. My name is Tracy Flood. I'm the CEO and co-founder of BroadStreet. I'm currently located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. First of all, honestly, thank you so much for joining us for the workshop. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here today. The workshop will be a real-time step-by-step showing you how to use our template feature to make these custom branded reports that you can design once and then run again and again. So the skills that you will learn here today will apply to CHNAs, but they'll apply also to any community needs assessment, grant writing, initiative planning. If you are a consultant and would like to use BroadStreet and find yourself using certain data again and again and really also want to brand your dashboards, this workshop is for you. So in a moment, I'm going to start the walkthrough. Just so you know what's in store, I'm going to give a brief orientation to the BroadStreet site. I'll run a report, and then I'll show you how to edit words, shuffle, and add cards. And then I'll show you how to add branding, and from there, we're going to run a template. That template feature is the big way in which we can run reports again and again. If there's still time on the end, then I can also show you how to create a landing page. All right, so here we are on BroadStreet. This is the view from my computer. We use the words dashboards, reports, and stories interchangeably, and we try to match whatever terminology our members want to use. So the first step is to sign in. Feel free to sign up and sign in if you haven't already. You'll be able to see this homepage. And of course, the first thing that you notice is that the entire site is built on cards. Cards are definitely the building blocks of BroadStreet. This makes the entire site mobile friendly. And also one thing that we love is that cards can be collected and saved either under my favorites or in stories. So one example of that is here on favorites. I've obviously saved a lot of favorites. You can add any card to my favorites. Then these tool cards here on the home page. We have the report templates or story templates that have been created by BroadStreet. And here below, we have map room tools and also some data tools. So these are our little tool cards. And gosh, I'm just going to get started right away on building reports. So I'm going to start with the Community Indicator Report. The Community Indicator Report is a tightly curated list of indicators. This is the first report that we launched and have since added these. So all of these other reports will give you additional information. All right, I'm going to start by creating a new area. Decide if you want your area to be a list of zip codes, counties, or cities, villages, and towns. I'm going to choose a county. I always like to give the example of Milwaukee because I live in Milwaukee. So now I'm going to name that area, and this name of the area will pop up again and again. The final step is to generate the area. Now, generating an area creates an additional list of zip codes and cities and villages and towns. Whenever possible, we're going to use that primary area, counties, right here. We're going to use that primary area. If data are not available in that primary area, that's when we defer to the list of zips, so the list of cities, villages, and towns. An example is the 500 cities only gives data by cities. All right, so then we click Run Report. I'm going to view this story here. Just to kind of give a little bit of a review, there's all of these words here that are like, oh, not so great. Maybe there's some cards that I like. Maybe there's some cards I don't like. I don't really want this image. I want something more custom, and I don't want this brand. So I'm going to show you how to change all of those things. So first of all, I always like to name my reports. Sometimes you can put the area there. All of this text is editable. You can just save it up there. You can also change this image. I have some images already uploaded, so I'm just going to change it. Okay, so maybe I took a really nice picture of some children playing outside of my facility and I thought that was super cute. So I'm going to add that. Now all of these words, they've just got to go. We can also say, or our organization. You can really put anything you want. And one of the shocking things is that you can also delete entire sections. So if you find that there's something that's not useful, you can delete that section and streamline it. All right, so now I'm also going to shuffle some cards around. All right, I actually am really interested in that, so I'm going to push that upwards. All right, that's looking good. Now, if I've reviewed this community indicator report and I'm finding that there's some things that I need that I haven't seen in here, I can actually go to my stories, and here I've saved some cards that I really like. So for instance, if my organization is focused on children, one thing that I didn't see in that community indicator report is how many children we're serving. So I'm actually going to add this to that indicator report right in the introduction. So this is how you save cards to other stories. I'm going to go back and see if I can find it. All right, so oh, now there it is. There's another card with numbers of children. Okay, so that's how you add indicators. I'm not going to show it now, but there's also ways to add indicators directly from the map room as well. I'm going to save it, and then I would really love to brand this so that it's my own. In settings, there's layout and look. I do want to change the colors on the brand. Let's make this a nice blue. I'm also going to edit the logo. Okay, logo. That looks super. All right, so now I'm going to view it again, and right away you can see that it updates. The logo is updating, and the image is updated, and this terrible misspelling has also been updated, and the cards that I really want are now here. So that's perfect. So if I'm really liking the way that this is looking, and I want to make just a ton of these, I would like to make 30 of these. This is what you do. I'm going to save this as a template. So saving it as a template, what that will do is that will spin off a copy of exactly what we're seeing right now. So that will basically take a snapshot of this story. So right now you see that I'm in the story editor. This is the published story. What a template will do is that it'll take a single snapshot of the way the story looks right now. If I edit this story later, it won't be reflected in the template because it's just a snapshot. But I'm going to save this as a template. All right, it says congrats. Do I want to view my templates? And I do. There it is. So my templates, they appear here on my templates page. If you ever lose them, they also automatically get added to the main page. So now this essentially is a tool card. I did use the same image. This essentially is a tool card from which I can run other reports. So let's see how this goes. Now, I happen to have a lot of areas that are saved that I've used for previous reports. So I'm going to use this zip code here. All right, now I want to view it. All right, so I'm not sure if you can tell, but see how this is the zip code that I've just run the report for? That just thrilled me to pieces, and I really want to do it again. Let's try it one more time. All right, let's do the Atlanta region view. And now all of these are for the Atlanta region. So essentially, I've updated an existing template made by BroadStreet, created a template of my own, branded it, and now I can run it for any area that I would like. I'll take a step back here and say that this is a really great tool for having community discussions. So you're walking into the meeting with data, and they're saying, hey, we forgot about children. Oh, no problem. We can add that in. It becomes more of a discussion around data rather than we'll get back to you in 6 months. If you want to go beyond just explaining your dashboards and reports to people, then you can also share it with collaborators. So right now I don't have any collaborators, but I can add them via email, and then I can actually have people co-editing my stories with me. So if I share this private link, then that person who has that private link will be able to also co-edit. Okay, that's essentially how to do it. I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to create a new story from scratch as a place to put all of these new reports that I've created. So one challenge that we understand people face is that when they have a URL that they want to share, it's not very easy to update a website. BroadStreet actually has a solution for that. I'm going to go into my stories here. I'm going to create a new story. It creates an untitled blank story. What I really, really want is a way to showcase the reports that I've already made. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to save it. I'm going to add a new section. I want that section to be a banner with text. Let's do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my report for the Atlanta region. I'm going to copy it up here. I can also copy it here. Okay, so I'm going to add a link. Okay, now I'm going to add a link here. Now, I did promise 10 CHNAs in 10 minutes. I hope you'll settle for 3. The gist that when you go to do it yourself, you'll definitely be able to do it in under 10 minutes if you know the areas that you're working with. All right, and then finally, all right, report for hometown. Okay. All right, so now I have this itsy bitsy little page. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to view it. Okay, so now this is live. This is basically something that I would be able to share with everyone I would like by just copying this link. I'm going to call it a landing page for my reports. Let me just take 1 second to read some of the questions. One question was, how are cards created? The way that a person would create a card for their area is essentially to run these reports. Once you run the report, you essentially have the card. For instance, if I was to create a demographics report using my saved areas, I'm now going to be creating a bunch of cards for Atlanta. So another question, do we have to use the existing cards data or can we create our own? So there's essentially 2 ways to create a card. If you're not seeing it in one of the stories, then one way to create a card is to go into the map room. I'm going to go into the map room. So the map room will create a map card, as you can imagine. So say, for instance, there's information here in the map room that I wasn't seeing in the reports. Then I can add data to the map. When I save it, then I can save it to any one of these stories that I've made. That's how you create a map card. The other way to create a card is actually by reaching out and contacting us. We do try to prioritize cards based on the volume of requests. We also work with sponsors to generate the collections. All right, an anonymous. Can you show once more how you added the additional card to the report? Yes, perfect. I will go through that just a little bit slower. One report I personally really like is the mortality report. So the mortality report has a lot of information on leading causes of death. Ooh, this is very city-centric. That was quite fast, but that just shows you how quick it is. I've just run a mortality report. I can either view that published story or I can edit that story in the editor. So when I'm here in the editor mode, or even when I'm here in the published version, I'm able to save cards. Each and every card has the ability to be saved. Each and every card has the ability to be favorited. So if I'm seeing a card that I'm really liking, sometimes I'll throw a favorite on it. Then I have access to it later. If I already know that I'm really loving this life expectancy card, then what I'll do is I'll just click Save Card here at the bottom, and I'll add it to this story. And if I go back, I did sneakily add it to my brand new story, mostly so it'd be easy to see. So now I've saved cards here. Hopefully you get the gist. Someone asked a question about a specific demographic. If you're ever wondering if we have an indicator of any kind, you can open up the data dictionary here, type in poverty, and you'll be able to see all of the different indicators we have. So if you're curious about what indicators exist, the most indicators exist in the map room. The reports pull out a subset of those indicators. We got a great question of, can you save this to Word? Right now, there's no way to save it directly to Word. Some people print the pages as a PDF. We'll do a screenshot. I will show you now how to create that PDF. These are my stories that I've created. Here is the brand new one that I have. I'm going to show you what this looks like published. Okay, so say I'm just wanting to share this with somebody. We really love how interactive all of the data is, and we really want to encourage people to use it for their own community. One of the things that we do encourage is sharing, inviting collaborators, copying the link and sharing it with people. If you'd rather have a PowerPoint or a Word document, this is how you would do it in Chrome. You'd go up to File and you would print, and you should be able to see an option. Oh, here it is, Save as PDF. That's how you would do it. It's pretty darn easy. How do I delete the areas that I have? Right now, we encourage everybody to recycle areas. So here under My Areas, Clicking on any of these areas allows you to edit the areas. For instance, if I wanted to add another county here, I can do that. If I wanted to start from scratch and type something in for Chicago Heights instead. What's going to happen? All of the stories that I have made with this area will update automatically. So changing an area or editing an area is really powerful. Any story that's associated with that area, any map that's associated with that area will automatically update. This is another great way to have that conversation if someone says, hey, you forgot this zip code, or hey, why haven't you included this region? Then you can edit the areas without breaking your stories or reports. It'll simply update instantly. All right, so I've saved that. Can we upload our own data? Not right now, but please reach out to us and maybe we can talk a little bit more. We really love hearing and talking to people so we can figure out your needs. We try to build collections, reports, and stories with data that are available nationwide. Is there a way to delete stories that you've accidentally created? Yes, definitely. So as you can see, I've created a ton of stories. And I don't need all of them. So what I'm going to do is delete one. I know I can get rid of this one, for instance. I'm going to go into settings and I'm going to just click delete and then it's gone. Bye-bye. That's how you delete it. So here in the settings, there should be a delete option. Here in the settings, there's also make a copy. That's if you want to make an exact copy. It's different than the template because the template saves that tool card here. If for any reason you're just kind of stuck or not seeing a card that you want and need, the best way to contact us is up here in the toggle. You can chat with us. This goes to a person. So just say contact human and really just say, hey, look, I'm really interested in maternal and child health. We record all of those requests. And even if the answer is we don't have it, we record all of those. We plan our tool based on that. Thank you so much for attending. It really means a lot to us that you take the time to learn about the tools. Always feel free to reach out. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.